Because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
You thought the game was over, but it's only just begun.
Yo, 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 welcome to Late Night Massacre where no one is safe, and I want to go over some Terrifier news that just came out the other day, okay? Obviously, you know, if you guys are a big fan of the Terrifier franchise, Terrifier 2 is just absolutely amazing. It did so well at the box office, and, you know, this was only supposed to be like a release in theaters for like the weekend, but it was doing so well. They kept this thing in theaters for like a month and a half. I think it made over like $10 million. I mean, for a $250,000 budget, this is what we got. And from the practical effects, and obviously from Damien, Leone, the director, and obviously Phil Falcone and some of the other guys that are producing and really doing a good job on this project, I got to say, did a fantastic job. I mean, from the first movie, it was $50,000 where they were just doing a little bit of story of a murderous clown with really no backstory and just a movie to watch. And it got so much press just because of how violent it was. And I didn't watch Terrifier until like a few years ago, really, when my buddy was like, you got to watch this on Netflix. One of the scariest things you'll ever see. And I watched it and I absolutely loved it. Terrifier 2, obviously, had more of a story with some main characters, some backstory on art, and some other things going on back there. So I'm really glad that even though it was a 2.5 hour movie, and some people were complaining about how long it was, but I honestly didn't care. It wasn't rushed. It was really taken care of, from all that. So there has been news. So finally, Terrifier 3 is set as of right now, which I am really happy about. Okay, really, really happy about it. And this was the news that was on Bloody Disgusting the other day, and it was said that director Damien Leone has produced Phil Falcone will return to oversee the continuation of the franchise. Deadline notes: plot is being kept under wraps with David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown and Lauren Rivera as Sienna are among cast expected to return. Filming is expected to get underway in November or December of this year for release in late 24. So hopefully by next Halloween, we'll be able to see this film. Quote unquote, says Terrifier 3 will be another boundary pushing addition to the horror genre, continuing the no holds barred, uncompromising exploits fans of the franchise have some to expect, and celebrates Damien Leone hype. Quote unquote from him: if you thought Art the Clown's reign of Terrifier in part 2 is extreme, you haven't seen anything yet, which is kind of nuts. I mean, I want to actually see if this, Terrifier 2 is going to be a lot more gory. And to be honest with you, Terrifier 2 really put itself up there with probably into my top 3. It's probably the third goriest movie I've probably ever seen in a lifetime. You know what I mean? So, it's just kind of crazy right now. But we've heard other news on the budget. Okay, now we went from 50,000 to the first movie. I think it was like 250 to over 200,000 for the second movie, and now we had some news on the budget saying there will be much bigger budget this time around, which is intended to give us the filmmakers more creative freedom and let them be as wild as they can be. And all jokes aside, we are going for that Oscar this year, which I think is really interesting. When you give a director so much money to use, sometimes they take shortcuts, sometimes they use CGI, sometimes they do a lot worse things. We know there's plenty of movies out there where when they're given way too much money, they make a really bad product. For me, Damien Leone does everything himself. This is all a practical effect movie. Like, it doesn't get better than practical effects. I think practical effects, if done right, still works. Obviously, depending on your camera angles, depending on just what you're using, how creative the people are. Damien Leone not only directs, but he creates the mannequin heads. He creates everything, which takes him months to just create, to be practically destroyed in a film, which is absolutely insane. So I'm not worried about giving Damien Leone more money. I think his creativity will even be better. It's not going to make him lazy. I'm not really worried about that too much because, like I said, guys, when filmmakers get too much money, they take shortcuts, some things that they don't really have to do, or something that's really going to be quick, or maybe a scene that's not going to take maybe less than 2 seconds. But sometimes that 2 seconds makes a huge difference of what something looks like from a visual effect from an audience member at the movies or sitting at home watching it or whatever. But Terrifier 3 being obviously more gory and is going to hype up to the next level of what, Art the Clown could do. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen next film. I mean, look, Sienna's coming back. I think Lauren Lavera is a really good actress. She's probably one of my favorite Final Girls, to be honest with you. I think she did a really good job. And they didn't dumb it down. They didn't make it stupid. They didn't put too many jokes in the film. They really didn't put much of anything in there. But obviously, Art the Clown, doesn't talk and really has his own way of, meaning something while not really saying it, you know what I mean? And he's been very creative in these films, and I gotta say it's been a hell of a ride. And I heard that part 3, Terrifier 3, will be in 2 parts, so you'll have an hour-and-a-half movie. So this movie won't be as long, but they're gonna cut this Terrifier 3 into 2 different parts, so it'll be 2 different theatrical releases, or just 2 movies in general, really connecting to one story. Obviously this, Terrifier 1 and 2 and 3 are going to be pretty much based off of, I don't know how much time is going to pass by for Terrifier 3. Probably not much, because we kind of go into that ending scene when Art's in What's-Her-Face's stomach, and that whole scene was kind of insane. I mean, I don't know, is Art the Clown just, his body is going to reform the way, I have no idea. And I didn't think it was ridiculous, even the post-credit stuff. I didn't even think it was ridiculous, just because, I mean, why not? You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be crazy how they bring Art back from that, and the gore in the second film. I mean, obviously the biggest kill was obviously the bedroom scene, which was just, I mean, how much worse could it get than that? I mean, the first film, you're literally you're literally sawing a girl upside down from her private area down to her neck, and then in the second film, you're literally just torturing this girl and then rubbing salt on the wound and bleach, pretty much. So how much worse could it actually get? I don't know. But you know what? I'm down to, test myself to see how much I could take of this franchise, how far they can go. You know what? This is a great franchise because it's a letter to the fans, and that's what I think it is, to the hardcore horror genre, to the fans of the hardcore genre, that these guys like Damien Leone and Phil Falcone, these guys will push the limits. They don't think they're going too far. They're just going to make a movie and that's it. And obviously, not being, when you're not controlled by producers, you can make a good film, and that's why a lot of films go in a bad direction, because producers, or Blumhouse and Lionsgate and all these companies, they put their necks in too much, and they want you to change certain things. So this was obviously self-funded. So I don't know who's funding this, or specifically, I said after Terrifier 2, somebody's going to give Damien Leone a lot of money. So it's going to be a lower, 7-figure range. I mean, which is, it's going to be a lot of money for him. So it will actually not be that stressful. I think it's really going to help him out in a lot of ways, because, the less money he has, the more stressed he's going to be, but the more creative he could be as well. But I still think he's going to be creative for this Terrifier 3 film. So I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty excited for it. I hope you guys are. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about Terrifier 2. And by the way, channel update. I know we just started really putting content up really today. I had to, my last PC was not working too well. I got a brand new setup now, and a lot more things coming. So obviously I'm gonna have music and a bunch of other stuff. So obviously just, bear with me for the next couple weeks, and we'll have reviews and we'll have other stuff going on, and movie reviews and reactions and trailers and all that great stuff, and obviously fan films as well, which I've really liked watching a lot of. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about Terrifier 3, and we'll get to it. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, guys.